Hi students. So till now in our inverse trigonometric function concept we have came across the definitions of inverse trigonometric functions. After definition we have came across the graph of each inverse trigonometric function, its domain, its range, and what is called as principal value branch of each inverse trigonometric function. So these and all concept we have already came across in the inverse trigonometric function chapters concept. So along with that, in addition we have came across one of the simple properties based upon the inverse trigonometric function. So today in this video let us go in some bit detail regarding the properties of inverse trigonometric function. So according to a NCERT textbook, the properties of inverse trigonometric functions, they have not given in very detailed matter regarding the properties of these functions. So they have given some of the properties and the proof regarding those properties. So based upon for your board examination purpose, I am dealing in this video how much they have concentrated in your NCERT textbook, that's much only. Suppose a bit more explanation, suppose if needed in the further classes, means at that time I will give according to the concept wise itself. So here whatever the properties they have given in the inverse trigonometric functions, so all those properties are going to satisfy in certain domain only. So how this domain is playing the role here, so this idea you might not get clearly while solving any of the problem based upon this inverse trigonometric function, because whatever the problems they have given in your NCERT textbook, all those questions are going to be satisfied in which domain they have mentioned. So there is none of the question is present in your NCERT textbook, so that the questions in that question the domain is out of the given domain. So how to solve that problems, so like that question might not arise, because whatever the questions are there they have given within the domain itself, or within the certain values which are satisfying this property within that value itself. So there is no need to worry about it. But generally the inverse trigonometric function, it is a vast concept. Here they have given little bit, so concentrating upon your board examination thing, me dealing with the thing what they have given in your NCERT textbook, that's much only. So let us move to the topic now. So the first property what they have given, sine inverse 1 by x is equal to cosecant inverse x. So they have given, we need to prove this one. So the domain what they have mentioned, domain means what, the value of x. So here the value of x, it is nothing but modulus of x, it is greater than or equal to 1. So the domain in this function is mod x greater than or equal to 1. What does this implies? That is nothing but x it is greater than or equal to 1 and x it is less than or equal to minus 1. So this I have written in the simplest form, that is mod x greater than or equal to 1. So now let us prove how it is going to be dealt. That is sine inverse 1 by x is equal to cosecant inverse of x. So how we are going to prove it? So let I am considering, that is let cosecant inverse of x is equal to y. So cosecant of inverse of x, it is giving some value, so that value let it be equal to y. So what does that implies? So if cosecant inverse of x is equal to y means then x is equal to what? It is nothing but cosecant y. So we know that cosecant y it is nothing but 1 by sine y. So now I am interchanging the LHS and RHS. That becomes what? Sine y is equal to 1 by x. So sine y is equal to 1 by x. Y means if sine comes to the RHS, it becomes the inverse function. So sine inverse of 1 by x, not bringing like this, taking the inverse on both the side. At that time sine inverse of sine going to be get cancelled, and here we are going to get sine inverse. So y is equal to sine inverse 1 by x. What is y? Our y is nothing but cosecant inverse of x, which is equal to sine inverse of 1 by x. Thus we have proved the given result, that is sine inverse 1 by x is equal to cosecant inverse x. Now, similarly proving the second one, cosecant inverse 1 by x is equal to secant inverse x. So, again, what is the domain of this one? So, this is valid only when x is greater than or equal to 1. That is, x is greater than or equal to 1 and x is less than or equal to minus 1. Under this values of x or under this domain only, this property is going to be satisfied. So, what is the first step? I am considering secant inverse of x is equal to y. What does that implies? That implies x is equal to secant y. So now what happens? X is equal to secant y means x is equal to 1 by cos y. Now by interchanging the elements from LHS and RHS, what we get? Cos y is equal to 1 by x. Therefore y is equal to what? It is nothing but cos inverse of 1 by x. What is y? Y is nothing but secant inverse of x, which is equal to cosecant inverse 1 by x. So this is what we need to prove, and we have proved it. Similarly, we have having for tan inverse function. So tan inverse 1 by x is equal to cot inverse x. So what is the domain? Here domain of this function is nothing but x, which is strictly greater than 0. So when x is strictly greater than 0, only at those values we are going to get this function. That is, this property is going to be satisfied only when x is greater than 0. So again, how we are taking? I am considering cot inverse x is equal to y. This implies what? X is equal to cot y. Then what happens? X is equal to cot y means our x is equal to 1 by tan y. Interchanging the elements from LHS and RHS, tan y is equal to 1 by x. Then y is equal to tan inverse 1 by x. What is y? Y is nothing but cot inverse of x, which is equal to tan inverse 1 by x. So now we have proved three properties which is looking like bit similar. So all these properties are very important to solve the questions based upon the inverse trigonometric function. So remember all these properties properly along with the domains, along with to which values it is going to be satisfied. So now let us move to the next properties. That is, the first thing is sine inverse of minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x. Remember this, sine inverse of minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x. So upon which values? So the domain of this one here, x varies from where? Minus 1 to 1. So when x varies from minus 1 to 1, only at that time this value is going to be satisfied. That is, sine inverse of minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x. So how we are going to prove this one? So that is, first I am considering our, that is sine inverse of minus x is equal to y. Sine inverse of minus x is equal to y means what does that implies? That implies minus x is equal to sine y. That implies what? X is equal to minus sine y. And what we know? We know that minus sine theta is equal to sine of minus theta, which I have already explained in the previous video. So what happens now? Minus sine x becomes what? Minus sine x becomes x is equal to sine of minus y. Now this implies sine inverse x is equal to minus y. What is y here? That is nothing but sine inverse of minus x. So replacing y by the given value, that is y is equal to sine inverse of minus x minus sine inverse of minus x. Whether this is the thing which we required? No. So let us move this one to the LHS and bring this one to the RHS. What happens? That one, sine inverse of minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x. Negative becomes positive when this comes from the RHS to LHS. This positive value becomes negative when brought from LHS to RHS. So sine inverse of minus x is equal to minus sine inverse x. This is what we required to prove. So we have proved it. Similarly, we are having the next property, that is tan inverse of minus x is equal to minus tan inverse x. So when x belongs to the set of real numbers. So what is the first thing? First thing I am considering, let tan inverse of minus x is equal to y. So tan inverse of minus x is equal to y means what happens now? Minus x is equal to tan y. That implies what? X is equal to minus tan y. And we know that what? We know that minus tan theta is equal to tan of minus theta, which we have already came across this one. So what happens to now this one? X is equal to tan of minus y. So x is equal to tan of minus y means what happens? Tan inverse of x is equal to minus y. What is y? That is tan inverse of minus x. So tan inverse of x is equal to minus tan inverse of minus x. So this is not the required thing. By interchanging the LHS and RHS, we get the required result. That is tan inverse of minus x is equal to minus tan inverse x. So thus we have proved the given result. Similarly, we are having the third thing, that is cos inverse of minus x is equal to minus cos inverse x when mod x is greater than or equal to 1. So I am leaving this one to do it by yourself. So here also we are taking, the hint is take cosecant inverse of minus x is equal to y. This is the hint I am going to give. So by taking this one as y, you can solve the rest of the things similar to the thing which you have already solved. So this is for yourself part. So the next set of property, that is cos inverse of minus x is equal to pi minus cos inverse x when x is varying from minus 1 to 1 or x belongs to minus 1 to 1. In this domain, this property is going to be satisfied. So how we are going to prove this one? So first thing, I am considering cos inverse of minus x is equal to y. So what implies that one? That is nothing but minus x is equal to cos y. So what does that imply? That is x is equal to minus cos y. And what we know that? We know that minus cos theta is equal to pi, not pi, cos of pi minus theta. So this is the thing we have learnt. Even pi minus theta also holds, pi plus theta also holds. So why we have taken pi minus theta means because that thing is going to be satisfying this domain. So that's why we have taken cos of pi minus theta. So now what happens? This one, cos x is equal to minus cos y, I can write it in this form because we know this property from the trigonometry concept. Therefore, what does that implies now? That implies x is equal to cos of pi minus y. So cos of pi minus y, what does that implies? Cos inverse of x is equal to pi minus y. What is y here? That is nothing but cos inverse of minus x. So I am replacing y by the given value, that is pi minus cos inverse of minus x. So now by interchanging to bring the given result, that is cos inverse of minus x, bringing this one to the LHS, negative becomes positive, pi, this bringing to the RHS, positive becomes negative, pi minus cos inverse of x. Thus we have proved the property. Similarly for this one, so the domain of this property, it is varying from mod of x which is greater than or equal to 1. The property is what? Secant inverse of minus x is equal to pi minus secant inverse of x. So how we are going to start it? Starting, it is nothing but taking secant inverse of minus y is minus x is equal to y. So what does that implies? Minus x is equal to secant inverse y. So what does that implies? X is equal to minus, not secant inverse y, x is equal to secant y. So like this mistake might happen for you peoples also while solving. Be careful to avoid this mistake. So minus x is equal to secant y. So x is equal to minus secant y. And what we know that? We know that minus secant theta is equal to secant pi minus theta. Now by using this property, I will write what, that is x is equal to minus secant y has secant of pi minus y. In place of theta we are having y. So what does this implies? That is secant inverse of x is equal to pi minus y. What is y here? That is secant inverse of minus x. So secant inverse of x is equal to pi minus secant inverse of minus x. Now by interchanging the elements from LHS and RHS, we are going to get secant inverse of minus x is equal to pi minus secant inverse of x. So we have proved this property. So another thing what we are having is third one, that is cot inverse of minus x is equal to pi minus cot inverse of x when x belongs to set of real numbers. Try to do it by yourself. Again here the hint what I am giving to solve this one is taking cot inverse of minus x is equal to y. So taking cot inverse of minus x is equal to y, we can prove it like this only. So taking this hint, try to do it by yourself. And this is the next property, set of property, that is sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x is equal to pi by 2 when x belongs to minus 1 to 1. So how we are proving this property? So this is going to be satisfied only when x is within this range, that is x belongs to minus 1 to 1. In that time only this property is going to be satisfied. So how we are going to prove this one? I am taking sin inverse of x is equal to y. So sin inverse of x is equal to y means what happens? This implies x is equal to sin y. So x is equal to sin y means, how we can write sin y in terms of cos? So why I am thinking in terms of cos means because in the question we are having both sin and cos. So think how we can write sin in terms of cos. So already in the last video I have explained, that is sin theta, it is equal to cos pi by 2 minus theta. So sin theta means if we take cos function or any function in terms of pi by 2 minus theta form, means at that time function changes, sin changes, cos changes to sin. So sin y I can write it in this form. So why pi by 2 minus theta only? It is easy guys. Why? Because if I take pi by 2 minus theta means it lies in the first quadrant. In the first quadrant all trigonometric functions are positive. So there is no there is no problem of dealing with positive and negative signs in that quadrants, because all the things are positive. So that's why we are dealing here with cos pi by 2. That is not the main reason. The reason is depending upon this domain. So in detail it is not explained. So I am not going to go in that depth here. So I am taking sin y as cos pi by 2 minus y. So I can write, because cos 90 minus y is nothing but sin y itself. This is the property which we have already came across. So I can return now sin y as cos pi by 2 minus y. So now what happens? Our x is equal to cos pi by 2 minus y, because sin y has can be written in that form. Now what happens to this one? This implies cos inverse of x is equal to pi by 2 minus y. Cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2 minus y. What is y? It is nothing but sin inverse of y. So cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2 minus, what is y? Sin inverse x. Bringing this one to the LHS, we are going to get sin inverse of x plus cos inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. This is what we needed to prove, and we have proved it. The next is tan inverse of x plus cot inverse of x is equal to pi by 2 when x belongs to the real numbers, then x belongs to set of real numbers. So here first thing I am taking, let tan inverse of x is equal to y. So tan inverse of x is equal to y means what implies that one? X is equal to tan y. So x is equal to tan y means, as we already know that I can write tan theta as what? Cot of pi by 2 minus theta. So by using this property, I can write x is equal to tan y as what? Cot pi by 2 minus y. So what does that implies now? X is equal to cot pi by 2 minus y. So what does this implies now? That is nothing but cot inverse of x is equal to pi by 2 minus y. So what is y here? That is nothing but tan inverse of x is equal to y. So replacing that y by cot in tan inverse of x, we are going to get like this. By interchanging the thing, that is bringing tan inverse of x to the LHS, I am going to get tan inverse of x plus cot inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. This is what we require to prove, and we have proved it. Similarly, you can prove that is secant inverse of x plus cosecant inverse of x is equal to pi by 2 when mod x is greater than or equal to 1. So try to do it by yourself. The hint to do is, you can take secant inverse of x is equal to y. By taking secant inverse of x is equal to y, and another thing which we know that is secant theta is equal to cosecant pi by 2 minus theta. So this is the property which we know. By using this property and with this hint, you can prove this property. The next property is, that is tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y is equal to tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy when xy it is less than 1. So we know that to prove this one, before I will deal with one of the trigonometric identity, one thing I like to say to you students, that is, to deal with the properties or to deal with the problems based upon the inverse trigonometric problems, you must able to remember all those trigonometric identities which you have already learnt in the class 11, because all those properties are going to be used here to solve those inverse trigonometric concept. So the one of the property which we know is, that is tan x plus y identity. So tan x plus y, what is that identity is going to say? So tan x plus y is equal to tan x plus tan y divided by 1 minus tan x into tan y. Similarly, there was another property, that is tan x minus y is equal to tan x minus tan y divided by 1 plus tan x into tan y. So these two properties which we have already learned in the trigonometry. So by now looking these two, you might feel like there is something similarity here, right? There is something similarity in these two properties. For this one and this one I am saying right now, not to this one. So how this is useful, you can see here. So first thing, to prove this property, what I am taking is taking tan inverse of x is equal to theta and taking tan inverse of y is equal to phi. So now what does this implies? Tan inverse of x is equal to theta means x is equal to tan theta, and what does that y becomes? Y is equal to tan phi. So we got the value for x as well as y. Now what I am taking is now tan theta plus phi. So what is tan theta plus phi? With this identity, tan theta plus phi, it is nothing but tan theta plus tan phi minus divided by 1 minus tan theta into tan phi. So clearly, by simplifying what we have taken, and by that simplification we came to think is tan theta is nothing but our x, tan phi it is nothing but our y, divided by 1 minus x into y. So this is nothing but our tan theta plus phi. So taking this tan to the RHS, we are going to get tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus x into y. What is theta? That is nothing but tan inverse of x. What is phi? That is nothing but tan inverse of y, which is equal to tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy, which is the required property. So the thing is, whatever the properties which we are learning in the inverse trigonometry, all those properties are bit similar to the trigonometric property, so that you can easily remember the inverse trigonometric properties along with the trigonometric property. Proof is also based upon, if you know these properties, means you can easily take what is like this, what we are going to take here. In the beginning I used to take, right, let this be x or let this be y. So all these taking or considering the thing or considering a variable, this comes to your mind, to your mind when you know all these properties means. So similarly we are having another property, that is tan inverse of x minus tan inverse of y is equal to tan inverse of x minus y divided by 1 plus xy. So for proving this one, I am not going to deal with all these property. So to this property, to the property phi 1, I am replacing y by minus y. So what was our property? This was our property. So by looking this one, I can write now replacing y by minus y. So tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of, I have replaced y by minus y. So tan inverse of minus y is equal to what? Tan inverse of x minus y divided by 1 minus x into minus y. So what happens this one? That is tan inverse of x, and we already came in the previous property, that is tan of minus x is equal to minus tan x. So this becomes what? Minus tan in, sorry, not tan, it is tan inverse. So don't make this mistake, students, remember this one. So tan inverse of y, which is equal to tan inverse of x minus y divided by 1 minus into minus plus xy. So this is how we proved the another property, just by replacing y by minus y. So the next property is like this, that is 2 tan inverse of x is equal to sine inverse of 2x divided by 1 plus x square when mod x is less than or equal to 1. So I think by looking into this thing only, you might flash with one of the identity. So you can think it by pausing the video, you can think, and after that you can play the video. So the thing what here it is, 2 tan inverse of x is equal to this one. So what I am taking here is taking that tan inverse of x is equal to y. What does that implies? X is equal to tan y. So x is equal to tan y. So in the beginning, now I am considering our RHS. So till now, whatever the thing we have proved, by considering the LHS we have proved RHS, but here I am considering the RHS. So what it is? Sine inverse of 2x divided by 1 plus x square. So what is x here? It is tan y. So what happens? 2 tan y is divided by 1 plus tan square y. Oof, what is this? What is this? This is our identity, that is nothing but sine 2 theta is equal to 2 tan theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. Looks like I have seen somewhere here. Yes, this is the property which you have learnt in the class 11th. So now I am using that property here, that is 2, it is in that form, right? 2 tan y divided by 1 plus tan square y. So what happens to that one? That is implies, that is sine inverse of, that property is nothing but sine 2 theta, not here it is y, sine 2 y. So sine inverse of sine x, it is in this form, which is the property which we have learnt in the beginning. So sine inverse of sine 2y, so sine inverse of sine x, it becomes what? 2y. So what is y here? Y is nothing but tan inverse of y. So 2 tan inverse of x, not y, 2 tan inverse, it is 2 tan inverse of x, because y is equal to tan inverse of x, which is nothing but our LHS. So begin the proof of this property from the RHS to the LHS. So the next thing, that is 2 tan inverse of x is equal to cos inverse 1 minus x square divided by 1 plus x square. I think again one of the identity of the trigonometric property might have flashed into your eyes in front of by looking into this theorem only. So how we are dealing or beginning here? By taking tan inverse of x is equal to y. What does that implies? X is equal to tan y. So I start with the RHS, that is cos inverse of 1 minus x square divided by 1 plus x square. So what is our x here? It is tan y. So 1 minus tan square y divided by 1 plus tan square y. So we have already came across the property, that is cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus tan square theta divided by 1 plus tan square theta. By using this property, you can see here whatever which is in the bracket, closed in the open bracket here, it is satisfying this property. So what happens? That one, cos inverse of cos 2y. So what is cos inverse of cos x? It is in that form, so it becomes 2y. What is y here? That is nothing but tan inverse of x, that is 2 tan inverse of x, which is nothing but our LHS. So similarly you can prove 2 tan inverse of x is equal to tan inverse of 2x divided by 1 minus x square when our x is varying from -1 to 1. So hint is to solve this one, it is nothing but taking tan inverse of x is equal to y, and with the property, that is tan 2 theta is equal to 2 tan theta divided by 1 minus tan square theta. By using this property and by taking tan inverse of x is equal to y, we can prove this identity or this property. So now let us solve some of the problems based upon these properties, or how to solve these inverse trigonometric problems. So the first question is sine inverse of 2x square root of 1 minus x square is equal to 2 sine inverse of x when x is varying within this range. So one thing I need to make sure for you people, that is whatever the problems of inverse trigonometry is there, it deals with in the beginning which trigonometric function we are considering as our x or y, whatever. So that idea is going to come to your mind. It is purely one by the practice, and second by knowing all the properties or identities of the trigonometric formula. If you know all those properties thoroughly, means then you can, by looking into this itself, you can say what thing you can take x has. So here to prove this, so in the beginning you might feel it difficult to what to take x in the beginning. So upon continuous practice and by glancing all those identities, I am 100% sure that you can solve all these problems within a minute. So first thing here, this one. So what I am taking here as taking or let x is equal to sine theta. Why sine theta only? You will come to know while solving. So let x is equal to sine theta. So what does that imply? Theta is equal to what? Sine inverse of x. Now I am considering our LHS, that is sine inverse of 2x square root of 1 minus x square. So what is our x? X is sine theta. So I am dealing with that one now. Sine inverse of 2 sine theta square root of 1 minus sine square theta. So what is 1 minus sine square theta? It is cos square theta. So what is square root of cos square theta? It is cos theta. So what happens? Sine inverse of 2 sine theta into cos theta. So what is 2 sine theta into cos theta? We know that 2 times cos theta into sine theta is equal to sine 2 theta. This is the identity which you have already learnt. So by using that identity, what happens here? That is nothing but sine inverse of sine 2 theta. So sine inverse of sine 2 theta means what happens? It is 2 theta. So what is theta here? That is 2 times sine inverse of x, which is nothing but our RHS. So like this we are going to prove. So why I took sine theta only? I think you might have got the answer here. So why I choose sine theta only? Why can't we choose another property? So why I choose this one? That thing for you people comes to you only by the practice. So this is how. Similarly, there is another question, that is sine inverse of 2x square root of 1 minus x square is equal to 2 cos inverse of x. So where here when x is varying from 1 by root 2 to when x is less than or equal to 1. So try to do this one by yourself. Try to do it by yourself. The hint which I am going to give here is take x is equal to cos theta. Take x is equal to cos theta. Similarly, like this one identity is going to be arised when you are dealing with this one by taking x is equal to cos theta. That property must be known to you while dealing this one. So this is the hint I am going to give. So try to this one by yourself. Again, this one is also show that only. Next question, we need to show this LHS is equal to RHS. So don't go with the what is the value of this one, what is the value of this one. Now here at present we are having now properties. So try to use those properties. So it is in which form? It is in the property tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y. What is tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y? That is nothing but tan inverse of x plus y divided by 1 minus xy. Use this property. What is x here? It is 1 by 2. What is y here? 2 by 11. So take that one. Considering LHS, tan inverse 1 by 2 plus tan inverse of 2 by 11. What happens? That is nothing but tan inverse of 1 by 2 plus 2 by 11 divided by 1 minus 1 by 2 into 2 by 11. So what happens in the numerator? That is nothing but tan inverse of, taking the LCM, it is 22, 11 plus 4. In the denominator, LCM is again 22. So 22 minus 2 divided by 22. 22 get cancels. So what is the remaining here? That is nothing but tan inverse of 15 by 20, which is nothing but tan inverse of 3 by 4, which is our RHS. So hence we have showed or proved the given question. The next question is, we need to write this one, that is cot inverse of 1 divided by square root of x square minus 1 in the simplest form. I need to bring this one as simple as possible. So beginning, the thing is, that is what is x I am going to be considered here. So the thing I am considering x as secant theta. Why secant theta only, you will come to know. So x is equal to secant theta. What happens? That is square root of secant square theta minus 1. And we know that secant square theta minus 1 is equal to tan square theta. So now what happens? Cot inverse of 1 divided by square root of secant square theta minus 1. It is nothing but cot inverse of 1 divided by, this is nothing but square root of tan square theta. Square root of tan square theta means it is nothing but tan theta. So 1 by tan theta. What is 1 by tan theta? It is nothing but cot theta. So cot inverse of cot theta means theta itself. So if I take x is equal to theta means theta is nothing but secant inverse of x. So theta is nothing but secant inverse of x, and this is the simplest form of cot inverse of 1 by square root of x square minus 1. So this is the simplest form. Next thing is we need to find the value of this one. So while studying the properties we have came across, that is secant inverse of x plus cosecant inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. So what happens? This within the bracket becomes pi by 2. So what is cos pi by 2? It is 0. So this is the value of this one. That's all. So there are some questions which are very simple. By looking into the length, please don't get confused that oh, it is a big question, I can't solve. Don't come into that point or mentality. So think once or twice. The question is very easiest thing. So now the next question, it is we need to express this one in the simplest form. So I am considering this one, that is nothing but tan inverse of cos x divided by 1 minus sin x. So as I said in the previous question, that is I can write cos theta as what? Sin pi by 2 minus theta, and sin theta has cos pi by 2 minus theta. Why I am considering here pi by 2 only means, you can see here it should be less than pi by 2. So pi by 2 theta means what? It is coming within this range itself. So what happens now? I can write cos x as what? Sin pi by 2 minus x, and 1 minus sin x as what? Cos pi by 2 minus x. Now I am taking the LCM here. That happens what? That is nothing but tan inverse of sin pi minus 2x divided by 2 and 1 minus cos pi minus 2x divided by 2. Okay, we know that the identity, that is sin 2 theta is equal to 2 sin theta into cos theta. Suppose if I turn this one into half angle means what happens? Sin theta is equal to 2 sin theta by 2 into cos theta by 2. Suppose if I reduce this one to another half means what happens? That is nothing but sin theta by 2 is equal to 2 sin theta by 4 into cos theta by 4. So now in the denominator I am using this identity. Similarly for the denominator, we know that is cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sin square theta. So one thing you can see, whatever I am reducing half of, that is reduced to only angle. Here angle 2 theta, that angle is reduced into half means it becomes theta. So whatever the angles present here, only that is reduced into half. So don't confuse with these variables which are, these numericals which is present here. So again here we know this identity, cos 2 theta is equal to 1 minus 2 sin square theta. I am arranging it in this form. That is what happens, that is 2 sin square theta is equal to 1 plus, not 1 plus, it is 1 minus cos 2 theta. So you can see here like this. Now again I am reducing this angle into half. So what happens? 2 sin square theta by 2 is equal to 1 minus cos 2 theta, not 2 theta. So 1 minus cos theta. Again I am reducing it to half, that it becomes 2 sin square theta by 4 is equal to 1 minus cos theta by 2. Again for the denominator I am using this identity. So what you can see here, what happens? So that is nothing but tan inverse sin theta by 2. In place of theta we are having pi minus 2x. So what happens? Sin theta by 2, it is nothing but 2 sin theta by 4 into cos theta by 4. That is nothing but 2 sin, in place of theta what we are having? Pi minus 2x. Write that itself. Pi minus 2x divided by 4 into cos. In place of theta we are having pi minus 2x, that is divided by 4. This is the numerator. What about denominator? 1 minus cos theta by 2. It is in this form where theta is in place of theta we are having pi minus 2x. So what happens? That is 2 sine square. What is theta? Pi minus 2x by 4. So clearly now 2 get cancels. 1 sine get cancels with here sine square is there, 1 sine. So cos pi minus 2x by 4 divided by sine pi minus 2x by 4. So cos by sine, it is nothing but cot. So cot pi minus 2x by 4. So one thing you need to come in your mind, once if it is here tan inverse means the inside trigonometric function also should be in the tan. So how I can bring this one to the tan function? We know that cot theta is equal to not cot theta, sorry, tan theta, it is equal to cot pi by 2 minus theta. In this form I can convert cot into tan. So now I need to express this cot in this form. So what happens? So cot pi by 2 minus theta means, sorry guys, here not tan, here we are having cot function. So I need to bring to tan means the ulta of that one, that is cot theta is equal to tan pi by 2 minus theta. This identity or this property we are using, not this one. Sorry, correct it. So cot pi minus 2x by 4. So this is our theta form. So theta, in place of theta we are having this one. So I need to convert that one to tan. So cot means what happens? That is nothing but tan pi by 2 minus theta. So tan pi by 2, in place of theta we are having this one, that is pi minus 2x by 4. So you might get confused with this minus and this bracket. So better you put one small bracket there. So this is the thing. So what happens now? Tan inverse of tan pi by 2 minus pi by 4, minus into minus plus 2x by 4. What happens this one? That is nothing but tan inverse of tan pi by 2 minus pi by 4 is nothing but pi by 4 plus 2x by 4, 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are, so x by 2. So tan inverse of tan x means it becomes tan inverse of tan x is x itself. So that is nothing but pi by 4 plus x by 2. So this is the simplest form of what? Tan inverse of cos x divided by 1 minus sin x. So this is the simplest form. Suppose if you get confused means go back, pause the video, understand each and every step clearly. If you understood step by step means it is even better way. The next question is you need to prove this one. So how I am going to start? I am going to start is by taking our x. Again taking our x as tan theta. What happens to our theta then? Theta is nothing but tan inverse of x. So again I am starting this one with our RHS. So what is our RHS? That is nothing but tan inverse of 3x minus x cube divided by 1 minus 3x square. So what I took our x as, it is as equal to tan theta. Why I took as tan theta? By looking into this one only you might have flashed with one of the identity. So that's why I have taken x as tan theta. So 3 tan theta minus tan cube theta divided by 1 minus 3 tan square theta. So what is that one? We know with the property, this property, it is nothing but it is a formula or an identity of tan 3 theta. So what happens now? Tan inverse of tan 3 theta. So tan inverse of tan x is x itself. So 3 theta. What is theta here? It is tan inverse of x. That is nothing but our LHS. No. Our LHS is tan inverse of x plus this one. So how I can reduce this one? I can write 3 tan inverse x as tan inverse of x, I am continuing here, observe here, tan inverse of x plus 2 tan inverse of x. I can write this one as like this, right? Because 2 tan inverse x plus tan inverse x is 3 tan inverse x. And tan inverse of x, I kept it as it is. We came across the formula of 2 tan inverse x. What is that? 2 tan inverse of x is equal to tan inverse of 2x divided by 1 minus x square. This is the formula which we have came across. So I used that formula. 2 tan inverse, it is having 3 formulas, but which formula suits here? The formula which I use, this suits in this question to prove this thing. So I use that formula. So tan inverse of x is equal to 2 tan inverse of x is equal to tan inverse of 2x divided by 1 minus x square. So now this one is equal to our LHS. Hence we have proved the given question. So this is how we are solving the questions based upon the inverse trigonometric function. Suppose if you felt difficult, means try go to the problem section twice so that you can understand it clearly. And there are some exercise questions also. While solving the exercise question, you might get easy with the questions based upon the inverse trigonometric. And one thing I can say it for sure, by continuous practice or by working upon these questions continuously, you will get all these things thoroughly and you can solve each and every questions within a minute if you have done a very good practice. If practice means, then these problems are very easy. So this is regarding your the inverse trigonometric properties, and this is what we have studied in our today's video. Suppose if you have any doubts regarding any of the property or any of the questions which I have solved, either in the stepwise or in any of the identity which I have parallelly used, means you can ask me at any time. So go through it once or twice, how many times you are required. Go through it, understand it properly. So thank you, students.